Have you ever felt like you're bending over backward to keep everyone happy, only to be ignored when it matters most? You nod, you smile, you say yes, all to avoid rocking the boat. But deep down, you know, this habit of always being agreeable is costing you respect, influence, and even your own peace. The Stoics saw through this trap centuries ago. They knew that true strength lies not in pleasing others, but in standing firm with clarity and purpose. In this video, we will uncover why your agreeability might be your greatest weakness, and how to break free from the cycle of being overlooked. Stay with us as we explore the Stoic path to reclaiming your presence. 1. Why you were taught to please. Have you ever wondered why you feel compelled to keep everyone happy? Why saying no feels like a betrayal? Or why you shrink yourself to avoid conflict? You were not born this way. This urge to please, to be endlessly agreeable, was taught. It was woven into you by the world around you, layer by layer, until it felt like your nature. The Stoics would call this a distortion of your true self, a surrender of your rational will. In this part, we will uncover where this habit came from, how it took root, and why breaking free is the first step to reclaiming your voice. Let us go back to the beginning. As a child, you learned quickly how to navigate the world. When you spoke out, you were told to be quiet. When you disagreed, you were corrected. Be nice, they said. Do not upset anyone. Over time, these lessons sank deep. You began to believe that to be loved, to belong, you had to please others. You traded your honesty for acceptance, your boldness for safety. The Stoics, like Epictetus, would say this was the moment you began to lose your prohairesis, your ability to choose based on reason. What started as a way to fit in became a habit of self-betrayal. This training was not always harsh. Sometimes it came disguised as kindness. Parents praised you for sharing. Teachers rewarded you for being polite. Friends liked you best when you went along with their plans. Each time, you were shaped to prioritize others' comfort over your own truth. Seneca would argue this is not virtue, but a subtle form of control. By teaching you to seek approval, the world ensured you would never challenge it. You became agreeable, not because it was right, but because it was safe. And safety, the Stoics remind us, is a poor substitute for freedom. Now, as an adult, you see the consequences. You say yes when you mean no. You smile through frustration. You stay silent when you want to speak. You call this kindness. But is it? The Stoics would call it a failure of courage, a refusal to honor your own reason. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Yet, every time you please others at your own expense, you hand that power away. You let the fear of being disliked guide your choices, and that fear becomes a cage. Consider James, a man known for his warmth. At work, he took on extra tasks to be helpful. With friends, he always agreed to their plans. He thought this made him valuable, but he felt drained. When he missed a family event to cover for a colleague, he realized he had not just given his time, he had given his life. The Stoics would say James was not practicing kindness, but surrendering his will. His agreeability, rooted in fear of rejection, made him invisible. Seneca warned, To live for others' approval is to die a little each day. James was living proof. Why is it so hard to break free? Because the fear of disapproval runs deep. Saying no feels like risking love, respect, or belonging. You worry that setting boundaries will make you selfish or cold. But the Stoics see it differently. Epictetus taught that true selfishness is demanding others conform to your fears. Setting boundaries is not cruel, it is honest. It is declaring that your time, your energy, your truth matter. When you say no with clarity, you are not rejecting others. You are respecting yourself. This fear of being disliked is not natural. It was planted by years of conditioning. Every time you were praised for being easygoing, you were taught to equate your worth with others' comfort. But the Stoics would ask, what is the cost of this? You lose your voice. You lose your peace. You lose the ability to live by your own reason. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to act with justice, not to win approval. He knew that seeking universal love is a trap. The only approval that matters is your own, rooted in living true to your values. So, how did this habit form? It came from a world that values compliance over courage. It came from moments when you were taught that your role was to please, not to stand firm. But you are not a child anymore. You can unlearn these lessons. The Stoics offer a path. Reclaim your mind. Start small. Notice when you agree out of fear. Pause before saying yes. Ask yourself, is this my choice or my conditioning? Each time you choose truth over approval, you weaken the chains of habit. This is not about becoming harsh. It is about becoming whole. The Stoics did not reject kindness. They rejected weakness. Seneca never sought to be loved by all, only to be just. Epictetus never begged for acceptance, only for clarity. Their strength came from living by reason, not by others' expectations. In the next part, we will explore how this agreeability creates an illusion of likability that keeps you trapped. For now, reflect. What would your life look like if you stopped seeking approval? Stay with us as we uncover the Stoic way to break free. 2. The hidden cost of always agreeing. You are the one who never says no. You help out. You stay quiet. You keep the peace, thinking it makes you valuable. But deep down, you feel ignored. Your efforts unseen. Why? The Stoics knew the answer. Endless agreeability does not earn respect. It erases you. In this first part, we will uncover why always pleasing others costs you your presence, and how Stoic wisdom can help you reclaim it. Here is the truth. The world does not honor those who always bend. Look at who stands out: those with influence, with a voice. Are they the ones who always say yes? No. They are the ones who know their worth and set boundaries. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, was kind but firm. He wrote, "Do what is right, not what is easy." He knew that unchecked kindness without strength. Invite, dismissal. When you agree to everything, you tell the world, I do not matter. You might think you are being good, but Seneca would call this a betrayal of your reason. Your proheresis, your moral will, is what makes you human. Every yes that ignores your truth weakens it. You become a convenience, not a person. At work, you take on extra tasks. With friends, you hide your opinions. Each time, you fade a little more. Think of Rachel, a nurse who always covered shifts. She thought it showed care. But her colleagues stopped asking. They expected it. When she needed time off, no one stepped up. The Stoics would say Rachel gave away her power. Epictetus taught that respect comes from standing firm, not from being useful. When you are too agreeable, you become invisible. Your needs overlooked. Respect is not won by pleasing everyone. It is earned by being clear, by showing you cannot be swayed by every request. The Stoics did not chase approval, they chased clarity. Marcus Aurelius ruled with compassion, but never begged to be liked. When you set boundaries, you say, "I am here." That is where your presence begins. The cost of always agreeing is steep. You lose confidence, voice, and peace. Every time you swallow your truth, you create inner conflict. Seneca said, "A life spent pleasing others is no life." The Stoics offer a better way. Be kind, but be strong. In the next part, we will explore why you learn to please and how to break free. For now, ask, what am I giving up when I say yes? Stay with us. 3. Strength through Stoic clarity. You might believe that being kind means always saying yes, absorbing others' demands with a smile. But what if this kindness is not virtue, but a surrender of your own power? The Stoics saw this clearly. True goodness does not mean erasing yourself. It means standing firm with reason and purpose. In this part, we will explore how to replace blind agreeability with Stoic strength, finding a path where you can be compassionate without becoming invisible. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, knew that kindness without boundaries is weakness in disguise. He wrote, "Be just, not pleasing." This is the key. When you always agree, you let others shape your choices. You become a shadow, valued only for what you give, not who you are. True strength lies in your prohairesis, your rational will. It is the voice that says, "This is not right for me," and holds firm, even when others push back. Consider Lisa, a manager who always took on extra work to keep her team happy. She thought it showed care, but her team began to expect it. When she missed her son's recital for a last-minute task, she felt empty. The Stoics would say Lisa betrayed her own reason by prioritizing others' needs over her values. Seneca warned, "To give yourself away is not generosity, it is loss." Kindness must flow from clarity, not fear of conflict. Why do we confuse agreeability with goodness? Because we fear that saying no makes us selfish. But Epictetus taught that selfishness is demanding others shrink for your comfort. Saying no is not cruel, it is honest. It declares your worth. When you set boundaries, you show the world you are not a resource to be used, but a person to be respected. This is Stoic strength, not loud or harsh, but steady and clear. Here is how to start. First, pause before agreeing. Ask, does this align with my values? If not, say no calmly, without apology. Second, let go of guilt. Your time and energy are yours to protect. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to act with purpose, not to win approval. Third, expect resistance. Those used to your yes may call you difficult. That is okay. As Seneca said, live for yourself, not for the crowd. This path does not make you cold. It makes you whole. You can still care, help, and love. But on your terms. Epictetus never sought to be adored, only to be true. When you live this way, you gain presence. People may not always like you, but they will respect you. In the next part, we will learn how to stop being invisible without losing your heart. For now, reflect. Is my kindness, strength, or surrender? Stay with us. 4. The illusion of being likable. You might think that being agreeable makes you likable, that always saying yes earns you a place in people's hearts. But what if this likability is just a mirage? The Stoics, with their razor-sharp wisdom, saw through this illusion. They knew that constantly pleasing others does not make you loved, it makes you useful. And that is a dangerous trap. In this part, we will unravel how your efforts to be liked are hiding a deeper truth. The world often values appearance over substance, and your agreeability might be costing you your power. Let us start with a question. When you bend over backward to please others, what do you really gain? A nod of approval, a fleeting thank you. Now, look closer. The people who benefit from your yes rarely stay to lift you up. They move on, leaving you drained, wondering why your kindness feels so hollow. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, understood this. He wrote, "Do not waste time on what others think, but on what is just." He knew that chasing likability is a game you cannot win. It is not about being seen as good. It is about being true. The world does not see your heart. It sees your actions, your boundaries, or lack of them. When you are always agreeable, you project softness, not strength. People do not admire you for it. They rely on you for it. Seneca, a Stoic who navigated treacherous Roman courts, warned against this. He said, "To be always pleasing is to be always used." Your agreeability creates an image of someone who can be counted on to comply, not someone who commands respect. Over time, this image becomes a cage, locking you into a role you never chose. Think of Anna, a nurse who prided herself on her warmth. She covered shifts, stayed late, and never complained. Her colleagues called her a saint, but when she needed support, no one stepped up. Why? Because her endless yes had trained them to expect it. The Stoics would say Anna was not practicing virtue but performing it. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, taught that true virtue is not about how others see you, but how you see yourself. When you prioritize likability over your own truth, you betray your rational will, your prohairesis. This illusion of likability is seductive because it feels safe. You avoid conflict. You keep the peace. You stay in the good graces of others. But safety comes at a cost. Every time you agree to please, you silence a part of yourself. You trade your voice for a smile, your needs for a pat on the back. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to act with purpose, not for applause. He knew that seeking to be liked is a form of slavery, tying your worth to others' opinions. The Stoics called this a loss of ataraxia, the inner peace that comes from living by reason. Why do we fall for this trap? Because we were taught that being liked equals being valued. From childhood, we learned to seek approval, to smooth over sharp edges, to be the easy one. But the Stoics saw this for what it is, a distortion of your true nature. Epictetus said, "You are not here to be admired, but to be yourself." When you chase likability, you hand over your power to others. They decide your worth, and you scramble to meet their expectations. This is not freedom, it is a performance with no end. Here is the hard truth: not everyone will like you, and that is okay. The Stoics did not promise universal love. They promised clarity. Seneca, who faced betrayal and exile, knew that trying to please everyone is a recipe for ruin. He advised living with integrity, not with the goal of being adored. When you stop chasing likability, you start building presence. You become someone who cannot be ignored, not because you demand attention, but because you refuse to shrink. Consider this example. Tom, a graphic designer, always agreed to last-minute changes to keep clients happy. He thought it made him indispensable, but they kept pushing for more, offering less in return. When he finally set firm deadlines, some clients grumbled, but others respected him more. The Stoics would say Tom reclaimed his prohairesis by choosing reason over fear. His boundaries did not make him less likable, they made him more real. Breaking this illusion requires courage. It means saying no without guilt. It means speaking your truth, even if it ruffles feathers. It means valuing your own judgment over others' praise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it." This is your guide. Stop performing likability and start living with purpose. The world may not applaud, but you will gain something greater: self-respect. In the next part, we will explore how to replace agreeability with Stoic strength, finding a balance that lets you be kind without being used. For now, ask yourself, am I seeking to be liked or to be true? Stay with us as we uncover the Stoic path to a life of clarity and power. 5. Choosing your Stoic path. You have spent too long playing the role of the agreeable one, always yielding, always pleasing, hoping it would secure your place, but it has only left you unseen. Your worth buried under others' expectations. The Stoics offer a different path, one of clarity, strength, and self-respect. In this final part, we will explore how to choose your Stoic path, breaking free from the cycle of being overlooked to live with purpose and power. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, knew that freedom comes from living by reason, not others' approval. He wrote, "Your life is yours alone. Live it well." Every time you say yes out of fear, you give away a piece of yourself. You become a shadow, valued for your compliance, not your presence. To choose your Stoic path is to reclaim your prohairesis, your rational will, and decide that your voice, your time, your truth matter. Imagine David, a freelancer who always adjusted his schedule for clients. He thought it made him reliable, but he felt drained. His own goals sidelined when he started setting clear terms. Some clients left, but others valued his confidence. The Stoics would say, David chose strength over servitude. Seneca taught, to live for others' whims is to lose your soul. Your path begins when you stop begging for validation and start acting with integrity. How do you choose this path? First, decide your worth. You are not here to be useful, you are here to be whole. Say no when it feels right. without guilt. Epictetus said, "What need have I for others' praise when I have my own reason?" Second, embrace discomfort. Setting boundaries may spark pushback. Let it. Those who thrived on your yes will resist your change. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, yet stayed firm. Their reaction is not your burden. This choice does not make you harsh. It makes you real. You can still be kind, but let it flow from strength, not fear. Seneca never sought to be loved by all, only to be just. When you live this way, you gain a presence that cannot be ignored. People respect those who stand tall, not those who shrink. Epictetus taught that self-respect is your greatest shield. Build it, and you become untouchable. Your Stoic path is a commitment to yourself. It is choosing clarity over chaos, courage over comfort. No one will hand you freedom. You must claim it. In this moment, decide. Will you keep fading to please others? Or will you rise to live as you? Subscribe and stay with us for more truths to guide your journey. 6. How to stop being invisible. You have spent years being the agreeable one. Always nodding, always helping, hoping it would make you valued. But instead, you feel unseen. Your voice drowned out by others' demands. The Stoics offer a way out, not by hardening your heart, but by embracing your inner strength. In this part, we will explore how to stop being invisible, using Stoic wisdom to reclaim your presence without losing your compassion. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, knew that true power comes from within. He wrote, "Act with reason, not for praise." When you always please others, you fade into the background, a tool for their needs. To be seen, you must stand firm in your prohairesis, your rational will. This means choosing actions that align with your values, not others' expectations. It is not about being loud, it is about being clear. Take Emily, a teacher who always said yes to extra duties. She thought it made her indispensable. But colleagues overlooked her ideas. When she started declining tasks that clashed with her priorities, she felt guilty at first. Yet, her voice began to carry weight. The Stoics would say Emily reclaimed her strength by honoring her reason. Seneca taught, to be everywhere for others is to be nowhere for yourself. Visibility starts when you prioritize your own truth. How do you break free? First, speak up. Your thoughts matter. Share them calmly, without fear of disagreement. Epictetus said, "You are not here to please, but to be." Second, master the art of no. Acquiesce refusal, spoken with conviction, says you value your time. Third, accept that not everyone will approve. Those who rely on your compliance may push back, calling you selfish. Marcus Aurelius faced critics, yet stayed true. Their discomfort is not your failure, it is your growth. This shift does not mean abandoning kindness. It means grounding it in strength. You can care deeply and still set limits. Seneca never chased universal love, only integrity. When you live this way, you inspire respect, not just reliance. People notice those who stand upright, not those who bend. Epictetus taught that self-respect is the one thing no one can take. Build it, and you become undeniable. Your journey to visibility is not about becoming someone else. It is about returning to who you are, a person of reason, purpose, and worth. In the next part, we will uncover how to choose your Stoic path, balancing courage with compassion. For now, ask, what would I say if I stopped fearing rejection? Stay with us. That is, the Stoic truth being agreeable might feel safe, but it dims your light. You do not need to please everyone to be valued. You need to stand firm in your reason. Marcus Aurelius chose justice over applause. Seneca chose clarity over comfort. Now, it is your turn. Stop shrinking to fit others' expectations. Say no. Set boundaries. And live with purpose. Your worth is not in others' approval, but in your own strength. If this sparked something in you, hit subscribe and join us for more wisdom to reclaim your power. Take the first step today. Be seen.